Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Kanvi here. Today we're diving into something super practical, how to take your prompting game to the next level. If you've been following along, you know I like to keep things simple and hands-on. So first, we'll break things down piece by piece, then we'll build up into real examples so you can really actually use. By the end of this tutorial, you not only understand the fundamentals of a good prompting, like being specific, setting rules, shaping tone, but also how to reverse engineer prompts, add reflection loops, and even inject RAG to get a better result. So stay with me step by step and let's get started. My first, when I first started working with I really just throw everything into them. Like, solve this, do that. It's like a one way communication. But working with LLM is very interesting. Let's imagine this. There's an 8-year old genius gets accepted into Harvard. You, as a professor, how would you guide them? How would you let them to successfully achieve the goal, but also not overwhelming? So we don't just throw a problem at them because they're just an 8-year old, but they're a genius. So how do we successfully guide them? So we're gonna do step by step. We are going to break down the problem piece by piece. We're going to ask them, can you think longer before jumping into an answers? Can you recall any related problems and then use them? Can you improve your answers based on what came before? So the conversation was like a two-way conversation instead of just a one-way conversation. Do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So with that being said, let's jump right into a basic prompting. What make a good basic prompting? This is the structure that makes a good basic prompting. So I use this through the guideline of Claude model and GPT model, and I think it's gonna apply for the other AI model as well because it is very basic and it worked pretty well for both Claude and GPT. So first is be specific, always break down the task. Don't just throw the whole entire problem into the AI and then expect that the AI will give you a good answer. So break it down, be specific, break it down. Use a placeholders to build flexible templates. We're going to get to that after this. What is a placeholders and how do we use it? Third, always prioritize what to do over what not to do. So after you get the task, be specific and break it down into step by step what to do. First, second, third, your to do list, and then you have a list of not to do. Next part is to specify the desired format of your output. This is more of like later on we'll see how the desired format would be. For example, if you are using a coding agent and you want your format, your output format would be in the JSON file, you would want to put it into your prompt. And the next part is to use the markdown style to separate different parts of your prompt. It can include like introduction, context, example, desired format, to-do list, not to-do list. We'll look at it later. And then finally, always revise your prompt to remove the fluff. Let's look at this example as the basic prompt. I will give you a report title, and then you have a placeholder with the title of the report. This will give you so much more flexibility to change different title of the report. And then you also have please access the report through this following link, and you also put a placeholder there so later on you can change the link, the title easily without rewrite this prompt again. You tell the AI to summarize the report in less than 50 words, 60 words is up to you. So you put it in a placeholder here just to be flexible. So later on, if you need a long report, you can change this. And then you have a breakdown section with the double hashtag there. It's in kind of like a markdown format. And then you also give the AI that your desired format would be this is your title, link, summary of the report based on previous instruction, point one, point two, point three. So this is a very basic prompt, but in my opinion, it worked pretty well because it's specific. It break down the task. It's had a desired format. It has a placeholder. However, it is missing. It doesn't have any context. What kind of report? Who are you? What is the role of the AI? So this is just like a basic skeleton prompt. Next, we are going to add more nuance into it. With this, we give the AI a little bit more of a context and its role. Why do you need this report? And what is the role of the AI? So here I put act as an financial analyst. Me as a CEO of a tech company, I need the report to send out to my stakeholder by today. So that I can achieve the company financial goal. So that you can see here, I give the AI the context. Why do I need this report? I need the report to send out to my stakeholder to achieve my company goal, and the role of the AI is in financial analyst. So I have kind of like a formula here that is to add more context and role. As a role, I need what to do how. So with this, you can add it on top of your prompt and then have a section breakdown with the two hashtag in the markdown. And then after that, you can continue to leave the task to break the task down into different specific tasks piece by piece with your desired output. So you have your basic prompt, you have a context, role, and then you have a breakdown of the task. You also have your desired format, desired output. Now let's add one more stuff into your basic prompt. It is the acceptance criteria. This is your first given that condition when an action taken, then this is the expected result. So here's an example added to my prompt. After I have all of the requirement, I say, given that the reports are lengthy, when I ask for a summary, then I should only see three summary points. So that is my acceptance criteria. If I see more than three summary points, I will be asking the AI to come back and write another summary for me. In your prompt, you can also change writing style and tone. For example, you can set the tone as this report targets investors interested in technology, communication, and social media, making sure that you use formal language appropriate for media or something like that. And you can also give example. Report one example content, report two example content. After changing style, giving tone, you can also control the temperature. Temperature is some like a parameter to control the creativity of the AI. So I always think of code is for code, which means for something that very structured that don't need creativity. For example, in this case, you can see with a temperature of zero point 0.1, write me a report for my investors day. Or I can say with a temperature of zero point 0.9, write me a poem to make my investor happy. So it's just a silly example. However, it will demonstrate zero point 0.1 is for structure, for things that need to be formal, serious. Zero point 0.9 is more playful, more creative, um, more of like in terms of the word choice also be different. You can say, write me a Shakespeare poem to make my investor happy. Then next, this is a very interesting prompting technique, a few shot prompting. Basically, you can add it the few example to guide the AI to learn from your example and then perform the task. In this case, you are as a CEO of a company when you read another competitor financial report, you would love to know about the sentiment of the financial report. So you can give the AI some guidance in here. For example, if someone mentioned quarterly revenue fell short of projections, which means that it's serious, it's urgent. And then the next example you give the AI is that our adoption rates are climbing steadily with confidence in investors and stakeholders. So that is very optimistic, encouraging. Um, as a CEO of a company, you want to know how well your competitor perform. So with these few short prompting, we'll make sure that the AI not only output the report format summary and also will include the sentiment analysis into it. So instead of like, using a traditional model to do the sentiment classification, you can just ingest some few short prompting in here and the AI will be able to perform it pretty well. The next step is to reflect and guidance. This is important right after all of these prompts that you have: role, goal, context, desired output. What if the AI make mistake? So reflection and guidance is adding another layer into your prompt to make sure that the AI are able to achieve the goal. So the basic prompt is that first, let's break down this problem and solve it piece by piece. One of the research paper call it decomposing and then recombining. And then the second prompt we can use is let think longer. If you use Grok, you will see that when the agent had, when the agent perform the task, uh, it'll have a little box here that like asking you, should I think longer? Or ChatGPT 5 also have this function, let's just think shorter or think longer for better result. And then you can also ask the AI, always double check so that when it's had the result, it will come back and then double check. This is very good for those who do vibe coding with AI agent. And then you can also ask AI to recall a related problem, then solve this one because it will train on a huge um, different kind of problem. So it may see the problem before, but the problem because the memory. So you would just want to like add another prompt for the AI to recall if there's a related problem. And then for those who work with vibe coding, before the code, before letting the AI code, you can also ask question, are we clear on the requirement? Can you repeat like what are the requirements just to make sure that we are on the same page before we do the vibe coding? Next technique is called rack injection into prompt. For those who are not familiar with rack, I have one video here. Check it out. It's explain what rack is and what is different between prompt engineer and rack, and then fine tuning. So for rack injection, do this before you ask questions about something is very long. Like you have a long report, a long PDF files, long research paper, because sometimes the AI will get lost into to those information. So what you would want it to have this prompt to make sure that the AI memorize the text and then summarize the text before perform the task. So the prompt will be, I'll submit a few reports. Please memorize the whole text and then summarize in bullet points. With this, it will help the AI memorize the text better without this prompt. That's why it's called rack injection into prompt. And then after this, you can have like your basic prompt, your goal, role, everything just stay the same, but this should go either on top of the prompt or right after the context and the goal, just to make sure that the AI memorize the text to perform the task better. Last technique, I really personally like this technique. Is called reverse engineer. So the traditional prompting is, here are the directions. Can you get me there? The reverse engineer prompting said, here's the destination I want to reach. Can you show me the direction to get there? Which is that you already know what the outcome should look like. And then you tell the AI, here's what I want. Can you show me the direction to get there? And then after that, the AI will tell you like, okay, step by step. Here's step one, step two. If all of those steps look good, then you're gonna copy all of those steps, put into your basic prompting, just like our basic prompting, like step one, do this, do that. Always prioritize to do over not to do, like do this, do that. Desired output, everything is there using the answers of the AI from the reverse engineer prompting. So this is also pretty good of like saving you time of writing breaking down step by step. So with all of this, this will help you working with the AI, especially with the AI agent or coding AI, vibe code AI, or you know, it just be like on a day-to-day daily basic task, writing report, reading reports, summarize report. Hopefully this will be helpful, and please let me know if you would like to see anything else.